got my Keep Calm, It's Just a Service Dog shirt on for this video. Hi everyone! Today we're going to be talking about the differences between psychiatric service dogs, emotional support animals, and therapy dogs. Most people use those three terms interchangeably, and I am here to tell you that they are not the same thing in any respect. Psychiatric service dogs are trained to provide tasks to their disabled handler. So psychiatric service dogs do things like deep pressure therapy, where if the person is having a panic attack, the dog applies pressure in a variety of ways, like in their lap, on their chest, and they provide this pressure that helps ground their person, which basically means it brings them back into this present moment and reminds them that they're safe and they're okay, and it helps to bring them out of a panic attack. They can interrupt anxious behaviors and tics, like some people will pick at their skin or scratch themselves when they're anxious, and a lot of times they do it out of just pure anxiety, so they're not even paying attention to the fact that they're doing it. They have no idea that they're doing it, and the dog may paw at them or alert them in some other way that they're doing one of their anxious tics, and it helps them to stop so that their skin picking or scratching doesn't get too out of control. The dog can get up in their handler's face to interrupt a panic attack. They can interrupt self-harm behaviors. So these are all examples of tasks that the dog is specifically trained to do for one person, for their one disabled handler. Psychiatric service dogs can go in public. They are allowed to go anywhere the general public is allowed to go, with a few exceptions, like churches are actually allowed to say no to a service dog. And in addition to that, there are some areas in hospitals where service dogs are not allowed to go, specifically areas like surgical rooms where things need to be really sterile, unless the dog will help aid in surgery in some way by alerting the surgeons the person isn't doing well or whatever it may be. In those very rare instances, then a service dog would be allowed to go into a surgery room with their person. There is training required for service dogs. Service dogs need to be able to go out in all of the sights, sounds, and smells that is the general public. They need to be trained to be ready for screaming children running around in stores. They have to be able to not eat food off the floor, not climb the shelves in the grocery and get into things. So there's that sort of general training that is required, and then they also need to have tasks that they provide their person in one way, shape, or another that helps mitigate their mental health disability. Psychiatric service dogs can live with their person in no pets housing. It is illegal for a place that rents out to the general public to say no to a psychiatric service dog and other service dogs too. And in addition to that, they cannot charge you extra for your dog being there. So if you have a psychiatric service dog and you live in an apartment complex, for example, that does allow pets, but they charge, an extra whatever a month for your pet being there in case your pet destroys something while you're living there, they cannot charge you that extra fee. That is against the law. Psychiatric service dogs can fly with their human in airplanes. That is totally allowed. Again, that's where the general public is allowed to go, and they are allowed to fly with their person where the person is, not underneath the airplane or whatever. They can fly on board with you. And again, their main function is to mitigate their person's mental health disabilities. So they have tasks that they do for one person. They are not trained to provide companionship. They are not there to provide comfort to a lot of people. They are specifically for one person with a mental health disability, and they've been trained to help mitigate that disability in some way or another. Basically, an emotional support animal is like just a pet for a person who has mental health problems, and they just provide like love and support, just like a regular dog as a pet would. Emotional support animals are not allowed to go in public. They are only allowed in public in airports, because emotional support animals are also allowed to fly with their person in the cabin of the airplane. Emotional support animals are not allowed in public, and a big reason for that is they do not require any sort of special training at all whatsoever. And also, I would like to add that if you have a dog and you want to make it into an emotional support animal, all of those things that you see online that are like, certify your dog as an ESA, false. There is no legal standing for those. They're scams. They're just big scams, and please don't buy into them. Please don't give these people any more of your money. There is no legal standing. All you need to fly with your ESA is a letter from your doctor, therapist, psychiatrist, psychologist, whoever you see to have, help with your mental health. All you need is a letter from them stating that you need the animal for your mental health. That is all you need to fly, and that is all you need to have them live with you in no pets housing. Again, like psychiatric service dogs, they cannot charge you extra a month for your dog being there. That is completely illegal. And in addition, they cannot tell you no if you live in a building that's no pets housing. They legally cannot tell you no for your ESA. The main things with them is they are allowed to fly and they are allowed to live in no pets housing, but they are not allowed in public, and they are not designed to provide a lot of support to a lot of different people. It's typically for one person. Therapy dogs are essentially pet dogs that have gone through some sort of obedience training and then gotten certified with the therapy dog organization that basically says, this dog is qualified as a therapy dog, and they are allowed to go to various places in public with permission from those public places. And some places you'll find therapy dogs are hospitals. I've seen them at colleges. I'm a college student. I've seen them on campus. We have certain days that are devoted to that, and they bring in therapy dogs to help the students relieve stress. In the hospitals, they'll bring in therapy dogs to help patients' mental health, and because dogs bring joy to a lot of people, and so therapy dogs will come visit the hospitals and bring joy to people that are staying there long term. The whole job of a therapy dog is to provide comfort to a lot of people. And so therapy dogs do have to go through some training, because they need to be able to go out in public and not pee all over the floor, for example. So these dogs need to have manners, and also they need to like people, and they need to like comforting people. So this is why you'll see golden retrievers a lot as therapy dogs, because generally golden retrievers love to interact with people. They like to cuddle people. They like the attention, and so they make really great therapy dogs. But therapy dogs are not limited by breed. You'll see all different kinds of breeds as therapy dogs. They don't need to wear any special equipment. They just need to have basic obedience, and they need to pass their therapy dog certification. Therapy dogs are not allowed to fly on an airplane, and they are also not allowed to live in no pets housing, and there's no laws that say otherwise. So those are the differences between psychiatric service dogs, emotional support animals, and therapy dogs. Now that you've watched this video, please don't use those terms interchangeably. And again, I just want to reiterate that for psychiatric service dogs, emotional support animals, and therapy dogs, they don't have to be any sort of specific breed or size necessarily. They just, for psychiatric service dogs, they might need to be of a larger size depending on the person's needs, because you don't really get deep pressure therapy from a Chihuahua, for example. If that's not something the person needs and they just need the dog to interrupt anxious tics, for example, then the Chihuahua's fine. So for all three, there's no specific breed or size required. They can be any dog, essentially, as long as they're fit to do the job that they're supposed to do. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment and I will try to get back to you. I hope I covered everybody's questions. Thank you so much for watching. Whenever you watch my videos, that helps go toward my goal of spreading awareness and educating people on service dogs, and so I really appreciate it. And thanks so much. I'll see you next time. Bye!